and shine, wild ones. It's Bernadette. And as long as I can last, I am here for your Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading on this kooky Wednesday, January 27th, 2021. And, you know, the solar plexus chakra, I had to put on my yellow. That's all about your creativity. And then, you know, that's the chakra of today, of Wednesdays. And then the ruling planet is Mercury, which is the messenger from the heavens down to the mortals here on Earth. So I was like, I said to Spirit, I said, hey, listen, you know, as usual, you know, give the wild ones something that they can use and something that the collective, you know, is appropriate for everybody in the collective. And, you know, so it's the Empress card, the cow inverted, right? And why I'm laughing is, I'm like, okay, is there anything new that we need? Is there anything new that we need to know about the Empress card and the cow? And I'll be doggone if the animal allies didn't say, well, if the Empress card is inverted, that's cow tipping. And that's illegal in many states. So I don't know if you guys know what cow tipping is, but here in the South, we have a somewhat kind of sort of urban legend that, you know, that usually involves lots and lots and lots of moonshine. If you hadn't gone blind before then, or some kind of alcohol is involved, or, you know, the wacky grass, or the magical things that grow in cow manure. And, and so the urban legend is you go up to a sleeping cow and you tip them over. Well, okay, first of all, that is a scientific improbability. Cows do not sleep while they're standing up. And if you're going to try to roll over a sleeping cow that's laying in a field, good luck with that. Because they're big. If you've never seen a cow in person, they're big. And it's going to take about 10, 12 of y'all country boys to try to get them and roll them up. Don't do it. Okay, I don't care how much you had to drink. Don't do it. But what's so funny is, that led me, when Spirit put, when the animal ally said, yeah, it's something different. It's cow tipping for the inverted Empress, which in my deck, the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, is the cow, right? For all of the obvious reasons. Cow is just like, you know, the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card meanings of the Empress card. You know, in the animal symbolism, for cow as a spirit totem power animal, it's all about Mother Gaia and fertility and, you know, just all this very nurturing, loving kind of thing. But oh no, the animal allies have to bring us to cow tipping because she's inverted today. So that led me down a whole rabbit hole about cow tipping, because when something... I told y'all I'm going to try to make it through this reading. I am. Forgive me. I have better self-control than this, unless it comes to sugar. But, you know, when Spirit brings in some kind of like new interpretation or new symbolism and meaning, it is incumbent upon me to go figure out why that is. Now, maybe it was just the joke, okay? Because, you know, me and my animal allies, we love to laugh. We love that, you know, laughter is so healing and it's helpful for y'all. But there was that thing inside of my solar plexus chakra that said, no, you got to go a couple steps further. So what I found, because people don't have anything else to do with their time, is at a, let me find this here. So in 2005, at University of British Columbia, Dr. Margot Lilly and Tracy, I believe it's Boekler, of the zoology department there, they conducted a study to find out if cows can actually be tipped, because it's apparently a raging debate on the internet. Who knew? And what they came up with, these two, they're doctors, y'all, okay, and they're in the zoology department of a university. So, I mean, you know, you got to believe them. They're doctors at a prestigious university, right? So, old Margot and Tracy found that, and I got to read it because I've got to read it. So they determined that it would take approximately 1,360 to about 2,900 newtons of force. Apparently that's a thing. applied at the optimal angle to tip the average cow. And for reference, an average full-grown Holstein dairy cow can weigh 1,500 pounds, you know, then go up or down by a few hundred pounds, depending on a variety of factors. But then they estimated that an average adult human could generate approximately 660 newtons of force at the optimal tipping angle. So in theory, on the low end with a completely static cow, approximately 2 people could apply enough force to tip said static cow. So don't try this at home, folks. Just so now you know. But here's the thing. As funny as this is, I will tell you, urban legend, schmurban legend, I grew up in the South, which means I grew up around moonshine and lots of super cheap beer. And, you know, because I wasn't partying with the doctors. I was partying with the rest of the people in the same position I was in. And, you know, anybody can make moonshine. I've had 3 sips of it my whole lifetime, and it really will blind you. Don't do it. That is no joke, man. I thought they were going to have to rush me to the emergency ward. It was terrible. And it really does taste like jet fuel going down your throat. Even that apple junk they got on the market now. So anyway, what all this brings me to for y'all is when, first of all, the method that I teach for working with spirit, totem, and power animals is completely different than anybody else on the planet. I mean, you know, I'm sure other people will adopt this method along the way if it feels right to them. And I have been asked if I would teach like certification classes, that kind of thing. I've told you guys that before. I'm still thinking about that. But what happens is the whole point of bringing in a new system of working with spirit, totem, and power animals via the arc. And, you know, I agreed to do that when I was asked by the animal spirit guides to do that, is that there's been just this amazing wealth of knowledge and information and ways and means of doing things, of, you know, being in deeper relationship with the animal allies and, you know, even the tarot. But it hasn't expanded in a really long time. It hasn't had more up-to-date, more cultural references, more cultural beliefs, more, you know, different ways and means that we have of doing things by now, like now, right? Like, you know, even if you take a look into like flower symbolism during the Victorian times and you take a look at what it could mean today, wildly different. But that doesn't mean that the ancient ways, the tried and true ways, the old ways are no longer viable. They absolutely are. But so are the newer ways that are a little more viable in some ways, depending on some circumstance, kind of like that Holstein cow. You know, you just never know how fat that Holstein cow is going to be before you swing a bunch of moonshine and get your friends to plow through the cow dung and go find you a cow. Which, by the way, a static cow, yes. But the trick there is if the cow stays static, then it may only take a couple people to roll Bessie over. But cows and sheep, they are not stalwart creatures. They are the biggest fraidy dang cats you sneeze around a herd or a flock of sheep or a herd of cows, and they are going to haul boogie across. They're going to run for the hills. And so, that are alive with the sound, of music. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. So, God, y'all, I swear I haven't had anything to drink. I've got nothing in my system but the visualization of what the animal allies sent me. So when you take a look at, you know, the traditional tarot card meanings of the Rider-Waite Empress card and, you know, the spirit, totem, and power animal meanings of cow, it's all about abundance and Mother Gaia and nurturing and all that. Well, you tip that old gal on her back and you try to roll her over, and if she's not drugged out, you know, like they've knocked her out to do some kind of veterinary work on her, she's going to kick you, or he's... Friends, do not try this with any cow, but definitely don't try it with a bull. Or we're going to be, you know, singing sweet, you know, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry that big dumb one home. That's what we're going to be singing at your funeral. So, big old cow tipper home. I could work that into a whole song parody. But, you know, dovetailing on some of the cards that have come in the last few days. Remember, today is the solar plexus chakra day, and the ruling planet is Mercury, which is the messenger between the heavens and mortal men, you know, the mortals in this realm, us, basically. That's why I got my yellow on. There was this whole creativity thing starting. I put my yellow on, I went into a meditation, and whammo bammo, the animal allies slapped me with the cow tipping thing. So when I take a look at, in the totality, what this means, what I know is that when it comes to your own creativity, when it comes to your own solar plexus chakra, there's something very stagnant, very static there, and you and everyone else who's been trying to tip you, because we're going to tip this old gal upright, right? We're going to turn this card around. And that, when I do stop laughing long enough to get more in the space of tapping into what the original guidance was that was sent to me, that's so dang hilarious. I don't think I'll ever get over it. But I keep hearing, it's really, you're in a place where you're not believing yourself. We do that. We all know this, right? Everybody goes through this at some level during a day or whatever. But you're not placing your trust in the people that are encouraging you and supporting you, that are also telling you what you want to hear, what you want to believe, but you can't hear it from yourself at the moment, and you can't see it for yourself at the moment. You can't trust in it at the moment. And so this is the time for you to, I kind of hate to say it, but almost to be the static cow. Be in such a place of, not that you can't move, but that you don't want to move, and let other people do the heavy lifting. Now, it's funny, you know, listen, I've never involved myself in cow tipping at all. I hate those kind of things. Because you know me, if it was up to me, every animal would live in my house, and it would have a bed, and it would have a blanket, and it would get 3 squares a day, and we'd all have a grand old time. But it's, if you take it in its, in a different context other than the original funny cow tipping, which actually does have an additional connotation to it. We'll get to that in a second, because again, this card is reversed. Maybe it's time for you to let other people do the heavy lifting. And maybe it's time for you to believe when people tell you you're talented, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. Yes, this is going to happen for you. Yes, you know, all of those things. If you can't trust yourself and believe in yourself, and you can't get yourself tipped over, just stay still long enough to let them do the heavy lifting. Now, conversely, let's say that you got a bunch of drunk fools coming for you, trying to tip you over. And you're going to smell them, because cows can smell things 6 miles away. 6 miles. Trust me. You could probably be 6 states away and smell somebody with moonshine breath or bad beer breath, because there's a very big difference between good beer breath and bad beer breath, just so you know, having had a lot of experience with beer. And so you should be able to know these people are coming for you. And while they don't really mean anything malicious, this is not... Conversely to the first part about maybe it's time for you to let people do the heavy lifting for you, maybe it's time for you to kick your hooves all around and go, hey, that's enough. Stop trying to, that's it. Stop trying to change me. Stop trying to make me do and be what you want me to be. I am this person. And, you know, if you are like a cow or a sheep, then you might be a little bit of a fraidy cat, and you just might need extra time to do whatever this is you want to accomplish. And it it might be stymieing your creativity, right? Like the yellow of your chakra may be more like a muddy, mustardy, cow dungy looking kind of, you know, color, rather than a vibrant, beautiful, sunny yellow, right? And you just may need them to back off and give you time. So get your little hooves out there and tell them, you know, hey, back off, cow tipper, and stop drinking the moonshine. It smells gross. So that said, at the end of this day, at the end of this reading, here's what you don't want. Here's what you do want. You want anything that's going to lead you to creative freedom. And that means any kind of creativity that you're thinking about. You know, I love it when clients say, because I'm like, oh, you're in the creative arts. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Okay, what do? I'm a computer programmer. Where are you getting the programs from? Well, I write them. How's that not creative? I argue, just because I knew him, I argued with this old boy one time for 10 minutes. He's a CPA, and in his mind, he's not creative. I'm like, listen, I'm not suggesting that you do anything hinky on your client's taxes, but at the end of the day, really what you do is you take a look at the total of what's going on, and then you do your very best within the confines of the law to create a viable, helpful to them tax sheet, right? Well, yeah. Okay. Anyway, the reason I bring all of those up is the more I step in energetically to all the solar plexuses, plexes, that are watching this crazy reading today, is I can feel your solar plexus starting to knot up. I don't feel a lot of them. I don't see a lot of them really changing so much color, but the knots in your midsection, which, by the way, is divinely inspired because it's Wednesday and Mercury's running around out there, and Mercury is trying to, you know, do a heck of a lot better job than FedEx, UPS, and USPS, even DHL. Don't get me started on that. But it's a much better messenger than all those folks. And so Mercury's trying to zip down your pipeline, and that old boy keeps bonking his head on your solar plexus chakra because he gets there and it's all locked up. He can't zoom through it and get down to your root chakra. Neither can he come up from the root chakra and get up and go out your crown chakra to carry your prayers and your messages and your intentions to the divine. Right there, that creative block. You've got a creative block. Quit. Stop it. Have some moonshine if you need to. Just the tiniest sip. You'll never do it again, I promise. But just for the experience. Not really. I'm not encouraging anybody to drink. I really am not. That's a joke. So please don't write me. Tell me I'm encouraging people to drink. So that said, okay, it's time to get rid of that. It's time to get rid of that block in the center of you, because that's where all of your balance comes from. You know, if you didn't have a midsection, you'd be all flopped over like one of those things at the car dealerships, you know, those big, you know, wavy guys that they put out there that you cannot stop looking at. It's mesmerizing. You've got to get your strength up under you there. So that's all. That's all I've got to say about the inverted cow and Empress card for today. But really, when you think about it, funny or not, it's no joke when you've got a blocked solar plexus chakra. So, Lord knows I hope this was helpful, and I hope even after this you still consider buying your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, and hey, even subscribing to my YouTube channel. Above all else, no matter what you do, if I never see you again and you never see me again, my most sincere wish for you is that you stay wild.